Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I wanted to do a therapy session. I feel pretty good. Excuse me, forget the voice. Um, did a nice little art session today. Felt good about that. Got in, locked in with the room, settled into how I'm gonna do things. Everything is pretty good for me. You know, I'm not here to talk about me, but I did want to start the video off on a positive note and just send positive energy toward everybody, man, because that's really what the channel's been about on my therapy sessions as of late. But unfortunately, I feel compelled to use my voice to often talk about what's going on with the Palestinian genocide that's happening to their people. And tonight was a very, very messed up night for this situation. So far, 70 people have been killed in a massacre where Israel dropped some MK-84, I believe is the number. Forgive me, I'm not a weapons expert by any stretch of the imagination, but 2,000-pound bombs with 900 pounds of explosives in them. Two of them dropped on tents full of children, women, families who were displaced in a zone that was supposed to be considered safe. I just wanted to just document that. I think it happened a few hours ago. That ain't been that long. They're still trying to recover bodies, but the craters left by those bombs are so massive that it looks like there was never anyone there. Recovering bodies, there's no bodies. It's just so big. It looks like a meteor hit it. Two meteors, rather, of course. I first of all, free Palestine. You know what I'm saying? Free them from this. I think my mind goes to a different place tonight when I hear that, and it's just one of many angles to consider when you're looking at this. But this is the one that doesn't have as much humanity attached to it, so bear with me. This, to me, is a test on the weapons themselves. I don't know if it's a demonstration, and this is far beyond my pay grade. I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but it's getting to a point, and I think I've mentioned this a couple times in theory, speculating, but it's getting to a point where I'm starting to wonder if they're just testing weapons out, or if not testing them, showcasing them. Now mind you, these are American weapons that were dropped there. Those are ours, paid for by our tax dollars, America. And as many times as I've been blasting those who are doing this, Israel and the Zionist movement and everything that's going on there, and my understanding of that, and talking about just the origin of what it is I've come to understand, and the Talmud, and how it is a series of books is what I've come to understand. And within some of those books are some of the darkest teachings I've ever heard of in regards to a religion. Simply allowing the Jewish people to do whatever they want to people that they consider non-Jewish people, and declaring that those non-Jewish people cannot do any of those things to the Jews. It's a lot of stuff there that obviously I would need to read in order to be certain of, but I've seen excerpts that have been cut out by people who've been just posting and basically following the situation. And the stuff that I've read kind of paints a picture for why this would even be something that one could consider supporting. And I do firmly believe that whatever's in the Talmud needs to be read by every non-Jewish person at this point, including myself. We need to know what's in the books. We need to know what's in the books. We need to understand exactly what these people think of the rest of us. That's God's honest truth. But I think a lot of what it is that's going on there is manipulated. Not manipulated, but it's other people who are helping this process along, understanding what these Israelis believe in, and have their own agenda attached to what's going on. I really am getting to a point where it's like, you have your crazy friend over there, and you have also some agendas that can attach to his insanity. So all you gotta do is stand next to him while he's doing his weird dance, and people gonna come around and watch. It's almost like I'm starting to get a sense that that's kind of the vibes of the situation at this point. I think that it's been documented a great deal of the suffering of the Palestinian people. Like I said, I've made over 100 videos talking about it throughout the course of the last 300 plus days. I'm sure it's been over 100. I never counted, but we talked about it all throughout the whole thing. So I don't know that there's anything new that I can add in terms of opinion. But I just get the feeling that America is going to really stand on the narrative that they support Israel throughout all things. We talked about the Turkish American lady who lost her life about 5 days ago, shot in the head by IDF soldiers who were protecting settlers as they were terrorizing Palestinian people, which is something that is normal there. And we've talked about the depraved behavior of these settlers who often do everything they can to make life hard on Palestinian people of many faiths, not just Muslim faiths, but Christians and all different types of individuals. And they're protected, as already stated, protected by armed soldiers. It's a deep depravity of humanity taking place. An entire society warped into the belief that their lives mean more than others, and that others not only should accept that, but are accepting of that. It is absolute psychopathic behavior. And unfortunately, we have a great deal of our society in America and a great deal of the Western world aligns with these people, are these people, go back and forth between here and Israel, have dual citizenship in this place, and have these same beliefs. Maybe some of you who listen to me right now, I'm telling you that the world, if you're one of those people, the world does not align with your thinking. They don't believe themselves to believe that they are underneath you in any way. We don't think it's okay that you do what you do, nor do we expect that this same thing should be done in regards to our lives. If for some reason something happened to me, I don't want you to bomb 1 million people to get back at that situation. And what you've done is made us look at our own cultures. Our own cultures within our own respective lives, and try to see if there's any sense of that same type of imprinting on us that you have on you, that many of you refuse to even take a look at, that you just absolutely just consider is normal. That depravity and that behavior and that belief system that you are above is something that makes me look in the mirror and checks myself even further to say, not only do I not want to be that way, but let me examine myself a bit better so that there's not things that I'm overlooking within myself that would otherwise slip through the cracks, like I'm watching you allow these things to slip through the cracks. You believe that it's okay to do all types of different things to people in the name of yourselves. I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that type of selfish. I don't want to be that type of vengeful, I guess the word would be. I don't want to take myself so seriously that I think others should agree with me when I'm on my selfish missions of whatever type of intentions I may have. Israel has made me look at myself and wonder what's wrong with me. What could be wrong with me that I don't have the slightest clue about? What have I allowed myself to become without actually questioning it, because maybe it was enabled by the environment around me? What behaviors must be examined from within myself, understanding and self-awareness? Because without that compass, who knows what has been warped into our minds that we don't pay any attention to? Who knows what is truly depraved about our way of thinking? Obviously, I'm holding a phone right now that I know the materials that were used to make this phone were taken from a place like Sudan, where people are as young as 3 years old climbing down into pits in 100+ degree weather with little to no clothes on, picking at shrapnel and metal and various different things to try to get this material. I understand that. That in and of itself is a depravity or a warped norm, a norm that isn't normal, as I like to call it. That we would be okay with this, that we would continue to buy technology that we know is being made with this blood on our hands, as we continue to supply and demand as they supply it. Rather, it's one of those situations where it's like, I don't even want to buy a new phone. Would I like to have the latest technology? Yes, but I'm not buying a new phone because I've awakened to the depravity of the Israeli mindset. And that's one of the indicators within myself that I realize I've let slip through the cracks. That's not normal. You definitely don't be okay with toddlers being overworked, which sounds crazy coming out of my mouth, so that I can have technology. I'm not. That's a warped agreement within my own society that I've awoken to, that I'm not going to allow to continue. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like the inability for so many, not only in Israel, but in so many other aspects of the world, so many places of the world, the inability to undo what is wrong that they are not aware of is something that we need to try to begin the conversation about, so that everyone all over the world, wherever they may be, won't ever find themselves as distant from morality as that of the people of Israel. You gotta be able to look in the mirror and wonder if propaganda has done a number on your mind. And as you believe yourself to be a good person, could something be completely and utterly horrible about you that you won't dare question because everybody agrees to it? Could there be a deeper selfishness in us? Could there be a deeper callousness in us? Could there be something completely off about our actions? Do you know that I now question my callousness when killing insects? I question my humanity when it comes to such things, because it's so agreed upon and so understood that we destroy these harmless entities. Sometimes they can do harm, but not enough harm in most cases to take your life, and yet we smash them left and right just out of the inconvenience of them being in our spaces. We don't even look at them as living entities, and yet they're just trying to get a bite to eat. Who knows what they suffer? Who knows how much resentment they may hold in their hearts for the human race? And maybe that of certain genocides and certain injustices are a direct karma for the indifference that we show to the living entities around us that we give no care about. And we go into our graves believing that we're great human beings without ever considering the harm that we do to their species. Israel put that in my heart. Nobody has ever taught me not to kill a roach. Nobody's ever taught me not to kill a fly. We don't kill ladybugs, but we'll certainly smash every other bug. We don't kill butterflies, but we certainly kill every other bug. Is anybody going to sit back and wonder just how much of a torturous entity we are upon those insects? How much trauma we apply to their families when we kill them without any concern, and they just keep on pushing around looking for something to eat, keep on keeping on. And we walk around in our self-righteousness without anyone questioning at all if there's something morally wrong about doing this to the smallest, most harmless of us all. And sure, they carry germs, and for the sake of our own mortality and that of the fear of what could go wrong for their survival, we destroy them. How is that any different than Israel and Palestine? For the sake of their own intentions to be safe, since they have convinced themselves these people are horrible and that they are worthless and that they can sleep at night and killing them, they look at these people like roaches. And that they'd never question this and move about like it's the greatest thing in the world that they do this and celebrate one another left and right as we sit back in horror watching them do it. I have to wonder if within the evolution of myself, is there going to be some empathy placed towards things that I kill that otherwise is agreed upon in my society? Some of you may say I'm crazy, and two, someone may say to the Israelis they're crazy for giving a damn about a Palestinian. Where does it begin? Where does it end? You tell me. Or maybe you ain't thought that far into it. Maybe it's too big of a business. Companies like Raid and made billions and billions of dollars off of killing roaches. Black & Decker, whoever the companies would be, forgive me if I got it wrong, but they're making all this money off of killing roaches. Why would they want the culture of us killing roaches to go away? Sounds like America when it comes to supplying these bombs to Israel, if you ask me. And our government, who definitely doesn't want this genocide to go away. They're going to act like it ain't happening, but they definitely don't want it to stop. I mean, the parallels are uncanny. Who's going to stop and say, yo, we are causing trauma? Who's going to stop and look and say, yo, we've agreed that their suffering is necessary for the betterment of our own lives? Who's going to care about the roaches? Who's going to care about the Palestinians? Who's going to normalize allowing people to fathom the idea that maybe, just maybe, something is wrong about this? Because just because something is agreed upon doesn't mean that it's not absolutely and utterly demonic and depraved of all morality. Especially in the land of capitalism and the land of supremacy and identity politics and things of that nature. I mean, we got to start really looking at ourselves. As we continue to go to church every Sunday or whatever your religion is, and then think you're going to go to heaven because you follow the guidelines of what it is that everybody agrees is good, but some of the stuff that people don't think nothing of is no good. And if there's a hell to go to, we're probably going to end up there for the stuff that we have no idea we should not do based on the agreements or such. Whatever your culture is, the selfishness, whatever your culture is of self-exhaustion and that of the understanding that other entities should suffer, so that you don't have to fear, so that you can inhabit your space without disruption. And dare a roach do something to defend itself, you're appalled and want to wipe out all the roaches. I mean, it does not end. Do not roaches have a right to defend themselves? Do not Palestinians have a right to defend themselves? Do they not have a right to peace and prosperity and space? I don't know if I can look myself in the mirror and say no in regards to what it is that I'm comfortable killing, and then look at the Israeli who's comfortable killing those individuals and convince myself that they can question that themselves. This is not about me placing more importance upon the lives of roaches than human beings. This is about questioning whether or not we have it within ourselves to undo the wiring that allows for the suffering of things that are not ourselves, for the sake of the self-preservation. And that all of us agree that roaches should be killed, and that it is crazy that I have this conversation, may just be the crux of the problem. Can we not find better solutions than genocide? Can we not get out of our own heads in regards to our self-exhaustion and our supremacy and how much more important we are than the next person, so that they can breathe a little bit, so that they can raise their families, so that they can have an opportunity? An opportunity at some normalcy, if not for the presence of the human cancer that is our selfishness. I mean, this is something that really needs to be studied, in the sense that we are so comfortable with whatever it is we're comfortable with, and a lot of times within what it is that we normalize, others suffer, others die, others take on unnecessarily ridiculously painful trauma, separating from their families, watching their children die. I've killed roaches that were babies in front of their mothers. Do you understand what I'm saying? Never before this genocide did I think of the cruelty of my own behavior. And now I'm convinced that in the presence of the culture where this is fine, I might have coerced my spirit into horrible hell or horrible karma for that for which you agree is fine. And if I'm going to save my soul, it's not just going to be repentance of this behavior, but a ceasing and engaging in the normalcy of it. I said all of this to say, I don't know that I've killed my last roach. I don't know that. But it would be great if we could start agreeing that others shouldn't suffer, regardless if they're roach, Palestinian, black, white, or what have you, that others shouldn't suffer, so that we don't have to fear. That maybe there's a solution outside of induced trauma upon others that can help us cope with our existence and theirs. Now maybe we can't coexist, but maybe we can find another path other than destroying and inflicting the trauma that it is I've described. Maybe we can find a way to do something other than what it is we're comfortable with, which brings about so much pain to others. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.